Are you wondering if someone in your life is a narcissist? Or perhaps you're just wondering about the traits of narcissistic personalities. Join me in this upcoming series as we do a deep dive into the frequently asked questions about narcissism, where learning about these traits can help you navigate challenging relationships more effectively. Well, hello and welcome everyone to today's episode of the Holistic Healing Network. I am your hostess, Leah Petrucci. I am a licensed mental health counselor as well as a holistic health and spiritual wellness coach. So today's video, I'm going to be doing a continuation of my narcissistic top 10 frequently asked questions. If you missed the last episode, go back and watch that one as I talked about how to identify a narcissistic person in early dating. What do they look like in those early stages of a romantic relationship, which is very different from what they really act like and how they truly behave. And I'm going to be talking about that in today's video. So first of all, just want to be clear that a narcissistic person can be either male or female. It is more prevalent in males. However, in my practice, I work more with women who are survivors of narcissistic abuse and behaviors. I do have a few males that I work with that were on the receiving end of a narcissistic partner, but typically narcissistic people themselves are more the male population. Just also to talk briefly about the difference between narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. They are similar but different. So narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, is an actual mental health diagnosis that can be given. It comes straight from the DSM-5, which is the 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, which is a big old book. In fact, I'm going to show you real quick. It's a big book that therapists use to come up with diagnoses. So see, I have all my diagnoses labeled here into categories, and narcissistic personality disorder is under the category of personality disorders. And so there's basically a list of criteria in here that a client would need to meet so many out of so many behaviors, but also the big determining factor, which is why you don't see very many people who actually receive this diagnosis. It's a very small percentage. I think it's only like a few percent of the population actually have been given this diagnosis. And the reason is this: in order to receive a diagnosis, a person actually has to come to therapy and admit that they've been under this distress and they're having issues in either the areas of their social life, their home life, or work and school. So they have to come in and admit that's causing them distress, not distress for other people, but it's causing them, the client, the person who is experiencing the narcissistic behaviors. They have to, come to therapy and report these things and fit the criteria. And you don't typically see that with narcissistic people because they, first of all, don't see that they have a problem. They tend to blame their problems on everyone else, and they don't really self-reflect and look within and see, wow, I'm really causing this harm. Another reason is because the lack of empathy, or very little empathy that is genuine, and so, which is one of the criteria. So because of these factors, because a narcissistic person does not usually admit that they are causing harm or that they have a problem. Typically, narcissistic people may report to therapy, but usually it's in the context of couples counseling, and they're there to fix their partner. Like, their partner needs the help, not them. Or they are court ordered to receive treatment because they've gotten in trouble at work because of their attitude, or yelling at someone and they've gotten in trouble with the law and that they've been required to come, or they've been busted for substance abuse, which is commonly a co-occurring issue with narcissism. is things like addiction, different kinds of addiction, addictive behaviors, pornography, drugs, alcohol, food, any array of addictive behavior. Because the narcissistic person is typically just very uncomfortable in their own skin and dysregulated and angry and anxious and not very tolerant of things and people, and not very empathic, not very compassionate and sensitive to what others are going through. And so this is the narcissism piece, is that there can be narcissistic behaviors and traits without necessarily being narcissistic personality disorder. In fact, the rates of narcissism in our world globally is quite high. I don't know the exact statistics, but I think I've heard 25% or even higher. In some areas, it's kind of like more around 50% in areas like California or Hollywood, where there's pressure of what people think of you and things like that. Other characteristics of narcissism are they think very highly of themselves, although it is a facade. That's not really how they feel on the inside. Inside, they are actually very insecure. They worry about what other people think of them, but outside, their appearance is very important to them. They may be very vain. They may really care about what they look like. They may spend hours at the gym. They may be really obsessed with their hair, what kind of car they drive. They really do. It's important to them what other people think of them. And they really don't like tolerating other people feeling negatively about them. They love getting praise and admiration to the point where they kind of exhaust their partners of, well, you need to be grateful for me because I did the dishes, or, just something little. They want praise for that, but yet they won't give that same praise back. It's also very double standard. They can get away with things that their partner can't. They feel very superior and grandiose. They think that their opinion is highly valued, and they highly value the opinions of other people that they deem as intelligent or high status. They may listen to those people more than they would listen to a loved one. It can just also be very manipulative, very controlling, very possessive. In relationships, they may accuse their partner of cheating when they're the ones that are cheating. They may be very controlling of what their partner is doing, who they're talking to, feel very insecure that their partner is cheating, and they don't like to be alone. So they relationship hop. They hop from one relationship to the next. If they know that their current relationship is getting ready to end, they usually are on the lookout for a plan B, a next source of supply, as it's often referred to, narcissistic supply. They need a constant source of supply of people in different areas, work, family, love life, friends, lifting them up and praising them. They're very just self-seeking and self-centered, to the point of causing harm to others, causing emotional harm, causing verbal harm, psychological harm, financial harm, sexual harm, physical harm, and maybe not all of those, but a combination, one or more of those things. Typically, you will see emotional abuse, emotional mistreatment, and people have a hard time with that word and with the word abuse. But really, in the simplest definitions, abuse is harm, and that's exactly what a narcissistic person does in relationships, is they cause harm on some level. And we'll get into kind of the glossary of terms of narcissistic behaviors in future videos, like some of the terms that are used for the different types of emotional abuse. We'll go over that as well. Just to kind of wrap up, the answer to this question is, what is narcissism and what did those behaviors look like? That was just a small list. I'm sure I'm leaving out a lot of things. And, of course, your feedback and comments are welcome. Tell me about your experience with a narcissistic partner or family member. Stay tuned, and the next question I will be answering is, what makes a person become narcissistic in the first place? In other words, what are the origins of narcissism? Stay tuned, and if you're liking this content, please like, share, comment, and or subscribe. All of those help my channel and help get the word out to those who need to hear this information on narcissism. So thanks a lot. Stay tuned. Well, thanks for watching another episode of Holistic Healing Network. If you're in need of further counseling or coaching, I have 2 opportunities for you. I work one-on-one with adults depending on where you live. I implement multiple areas of specialization involving holistic healing for the mind, body, spirit, and relationship. I also offer a supportive group community program specifically for single women, whether you're divorced, whether you're separated from your spouse, or whether you've never been married, but you're seeking holistic healing in a supportive community setting as they break toxic patterns of choosing unhealthy partners in relationships, as well as focus on prioritizing self-care in health and wellness. I will include links in the description of the video for how you can work with me either individually or in a group setting. Thanks for watching Holistic Healing Network, and I'll see you in the next video.